There was once a young man named Ayaan, who lived in a quiet town nestled between mountains and forests. From a young age, Ayaan believed that strength was everything. Physical strength, dominance, power. He trained relentlessly in the gym, pushed his body past its limits, and constantly measured himself against others. He wanted to be the strongest, the best, the most respected. People admired his dedication. His muscles were impressive, his posture confident, and his words often firm. But inside, Ayaan felt an emptiness that no amount of weightlifting or praise could fill. Every time someone complimented him, it only fed his need to prove more. If he lost in anything, a fight, an argument, even a simple race, it would shatter him. His entire identity was built around being strong, and any crack in that identity felt like collapse. One day, while hiking through the mountains to train his endurance, Ayaan stumbled upon an old man sitting by a stream. The man wore simple clothes, and his hands were rough, yet his presence felt calm, grounded. Ayaan greeted him politely, expecting nothing more than a nod. But the old man smiled and said, "You're searching for something, aren't you?" Ayaan, slightly caught off guard, nodded. "I want to be the strongest," he said. The old man chuckled softly. "And why do you want that?" Ayaan paused. No one had asked him that before. "So no one can hurt me. So I'm respected. So I never lose." The old man nodded slowly, then looked at the flowing water. "Come here tomorrow," he said. "Bring nothing but yourself." Curious and a little skeptical, Ayaan returned the next day. The old man handed him a large rock and said, "Carry this up the hill. Don't drop it, don't rest. Just go." Without hesitation, Ayaan hoisted the rock onto his back and began walking. The hill was steep, the sun was hot, and the rock seemed heavier with each step. But he kept going, fueled by pride. When he finally reached the top, he dropped the rock and shouted in victory. The old man appeared behind him, walking calmly and effortlessly. "Good job," he said. "Now, carry it back down." Frustrated, but unwilling to complain, Ayaan did as told. For the next few days, the same task repeated. Up and down. He was exhausted, sore, and confused. On the 5th day, Ayaan snapped. "What's the point of this? I can carry heavy things. I already know that." The old man sat beside him. "Exactly. You already know you're physically strong. But you're not emotionally strong. You're not mentally free. That rock is your pride, your fear, your anger. You carry it every day. What happens when life throws you a burden you can't lift?" Ayaan was silent. "Real strength," the old man continued, "isn't about overpowering others. It's about not letting pain turn you bitter. Not letting fear dictate your choices. It's about compassion. About staying grounded when everything is falling apart. Can you be kind when you're angry? Can you stand tall when you feel small? That's strength." That night, Ayaan lay awake under the stars. He thought of the times he lashed out at friends. The times he hid his emotions out of fear of looking weak. The times he avoided vulnerability like it was poison. He realized he had been strong in body, but weak in heart. Over the next weeks, Ayaan kept visiting the old man, but instead of lifting rocks, they meditated. They spoke about life, about forgiveness, about being still in chaos. Ayaan learned to sit with uncomfortable feelings. He began to write, to reflect, to listen. One day, a storm hit the mountain. Heavy rains, winds, trees falling. A group of hikers was trapped. Ayaan, hearing the news, rushed out to help. Using his strength and his calm mind, he guided them back safely. One of the hikers, crying in relief, hugged him tightly and said, "Thank you, we were so scared. You gave us hope." In that moment, Ayaan felt something he had never felt before. A deep, quiet power. Not from the admiration. Not from his physical abilities. But from being useful in a time of real need. From being someone others could rely on. Not out of fear, but out of trust. He went back to the stream where the old man sat again. "You were right," Ayaan said. "Strength isn't about muscles." The old man smiled. "It never was." Years passed. Ayaan became known not just for his physical abilities, but for his calm, wise nature. People came to him not just for training, but for guidance. He had found real strength. Not in lifting more, shouting louder, or winning every fight, but in knowing himself, in mastering his inner world, in choosing love over pride. And though he still trained his body, he no longer needed the world's applause. Because the loudest strength, he learned, is the quietest one. The strength to be kind in a cruel world, to be patient in pain, and to keep walking with heart, even when the road is steep.